purpose of this training video is to look at the possible outcomes that might arise from a new lead call. There are three possible scenarios. One being you call your prospect and they're not available, therefore no pitch. The second is that you do get in touch with your prospect and are able to pitch. And the most desired one is where you call, pitch, and there's an opportunity for a later sale. We'll look at all these as individual scenarios. So the first one is where you call, ask for your prospect, they're unavailable, you perhaps speak with a gatekeeper. What you want to do at that point is, if possible, obtain and check their name and email address and leave a message if appropriate. It's important that we check the spelling of the name and also make sure that the email address is correct and a personal one, if possible, not generic. When we're working in the account, what we want to do when we have this information is edit it, and what we'll be doing is changing the status of the account from open to contacted. This is to remove it from your open leads list. The other thing we want to do is include the prospect's email address. So in this example, it's Mr. Good Prospect, so we'll just type that in. And once we have our email address, we can then save those changes. Now we've left a message for the prospect, but important that we send them an email as well. So we click that button and it automatically populates the to field. What we'll need to do is click select template and we'll choose from our examples list the most appropriate template. In this instance, we are just going to choose a general one with rural and remote examples. We quite simply click this and the template populates with those examples. What we'll do, there are three possible scenarios in the template. We remove the inappropriate ones. In this case, it's the second two. We missed the prospect. We were giving their name as the person to talk to about recruitment at their company. From that point, we quite simply send it away. And what we also want to do is log an action for future follow-up. We've not spoken with the prospect yet, so we need to create a task in our list to give them a call. The most appropriate time frame is generally within 2 to 3 days. So we select that from our calendar. We can make that high priority if we choose to, and we click save as well. If appropriate, and depending on the nature of your call with the gatekeeper, you could type something like left message with reception and the date. We click save and that gives us a note in our Salesforce calendar for 2 days' time to follow up with that prospect again with the opportunity once again to pitch. The second scenario is where you were able to reach your contact, you were able to pitch, tell them about the Employment Office service, but there's been no opportunity for a sale, no roles coming up. What we want to do in that scenario is once again edit the account, change it to contacted as we did earlier, and once again include the email address of your contact. We then click save, and what we do is log a call on the conversation that was had. So I spoke with prospect, interested in EO, no current opportunity, follow up in November. Clicking save will put that into the history. And very similar to the first scenario, once again we send another email based on the conversation that we had. Choosing the most appropriate template, we'll continue on with regional, rural and remote. In this scenario, we remove the different paragraphs. We had a conversation, so we leave the one commencing with "thank you for your time," and that email will build on the conversation that we had. Very similar to that first scenario, we want to log a new task for our Salesforce calendar. Based on the conversation and the example before, we agreed that there may be the opportunity in November. So once again, the task will be call, and the date will be 1st of November in this case. Once again, with high priority, and any notes that are appropriate, maybe opportunity for mining engineer, and save. What that'll do when we get to the 1st of November, that task will pop up in our list, flagging us to call that prospect. The third and most preferred scenario is where you've called your prospect, pitched, and there is an opportunity for a later date. So what we will do once again with our open lead is change the open status to contacted, key in the email address, and click save. We want to log a call based on the conversation we've just had with this prospect. So there's a current opportunity for a mining engineer, and we're going to send a campaign order. We'll save those notes, and there's a separate training video on the creation of opportunities. Those are your 3 outcomes to a new call, and the more volume that we do, the more opportunities should be available to be created, keeping in mind that new trainees are required to get a minimum of 2 per day. So good luck and happy selling.